So your sump pump should be installed inside of what we call a sump pump basin. It's made specifically for sump pump systems. Any reputable contractor, any reputable foundation company or waterproofing company is going to know what this is. This is a pretty important question because often we come across, whether it's handyman or homeowners that are trying to DIY, they'll use a small trash can or a 5-gallon bucket, or some people don't use anything at all. And really what that sump pump basin for is to be one layer of defense to filter out any mud or silt that's going to get inside of that basin and potentially cause failure to that sump pump. We only want clean water to filter into that basin. And we have multiple layers, such as you have a basin that's one layer. On the outside of the basin, you have gravel that helps filter things out. So there's multiple layers to help filter the silt and the dirt, sand, other stuff out of getting inside the sump pump basin. We only want the water to get in. And what we have found is there's a lot of contractors, unreputable contractors or handyman that are attempting to cut corners and save money and use a 5-gallon bucket. The other important thing to note about the sump pump basins is they are typically very large. So if you have a large sump pump basin, you have to dig an even larger hole because you still have to be able to get gravel around that sump pump basin. And a lot of times people don't want to put the effort into digging the a hole that large for that sump pump basin to go into. So they try to use a 5-gallon bucket, which is a lot smaller. The reason that's important is because when you have a 5-gallon bucket, water's going to fill it up really quick. And what's going to end up happening is it's going to raise the float on that sump pump, which is what cuts the sump pump on, and it's going to cut that sump pump on, off, on, off, on, off, and that's what we refer to as short cycling. We want that sump pump to cut on, to have enough water in that basin to pump, 30, 40 seconds, whatever the case is, 20 seconds, like some amount of time, instead of going on, off, on, off, on, off. We want it to cut on. Water slowly comes down as it pumps water out, and then cut off, instead of the short cycling, which is going to reduce the life of the pump and cause a failure.